In commemoration with the World Braille Day 2026 themed Braille as an important tool of inclusion, dignity, and independence for blind and visually impaired persons, stakeholders have called for greater inclusion and access to information for visually impaired persons. Speaking on the significance of the day, Executive Director of the Center for Disability and Inclusion, Yinka Olaito, noted that many Nigerian institutions and public facilities still lack Braille materials, hindering blind individuals access to education and public information.
Braille, which is an opportunity for every visually impaired person to be able to communicate with the outside world. Unfortunately, Braille isn't there yet. Even in our school, most of these books that are presented to pupils, even from primary to university, are still not in Braille. That means the school system has shut out person with disability, especially person with visual impairment. And that is the reason why most of them are not educated. It's not because they do not have the ability, but because the brailles that they can use is not available there. And therefore, the gaps are still there. And that's
Olaito emphasized that Braille is essential for literacy, empowerment, and independence among people with visual disabilities.
The gaps are still there. We are still unable to engage fully the potential of person with visual impairment, rather from the primary to the university education. I even have a friend that even when he applied to study in one of the universities in Nigeria, they told him point blank that they do not have what it takes, except if you want to go and buy. Why should the educational system be discriminating against person with disability, particularly visual impairment? And this is something that all of us need to begin to think. This is 2026. We are no longer in 1990s. Nigeria is going behind or is lagging behind in accelerating and executing DAPA Act, which protects the right of everyone.
Organizations integrating Braille into their programs and called for policy reforms and funding to support Braille education and technology in Nigeria.
This is the reason why today, International Day of Braille, that we are calling on government and individual who can actually help in speeding up the availability of brailles in school, because this is the only way, this is the only means by which person with visual impairment can actually be fully incorporated into school, where their potential can actually be developed, where their capacity can be developed through knowledge and learning. We cannot continue to turn a blind eye. Like we are in 2026 already, not 1914. We must make a commitment as individual, as parent. Parents also need to do a lot. They should invest in their children's development, especially if you have a child with visual impairment. Ensure that you treat the child like every other child that has the potential to become anything.
You've been listening to the National News on Fresh 105.9 FM Ibadan.